Hi, I'm Mark Dannenberg. I'm the CEO and founder of Options Moneymaker. This is the Profit Builder Weekly Review for September 25th, 2015. We just finished our first 6 months of the Profit Builder program, and we finished with a total profit, accumulated profits of $18,351. That's $18,351, and that is based on having started at the beginning of last quarter with a simple $5,000 of risk. So we've earned $18,351 of profits against risk of $5,000. How did we do that? Well, we very simply trade the indexes. We trade S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the Russell 2000 indexes. Trading more than those three indexes just makes trading more overly complicated than it needs to be. We try to simplify trading as much as possible for our Profit Builder program. We want to be profit builders. We don't want to be workers and not harvesting profits. So what we do is we trade the indexes, those three indexes. We become so intimately familiar with those three indexes that we can pretty much assess which direction that index is going to move based on some historical experience. So if we were to take a look at a chart of the index of the S&P 500, we can identify where the lows are, we can identify where the highs are, and when we can identify those lows and highs, we're able to enter new positions to take advantage of the likelihood that it's going to move in a particular direction. That makes our trading much more easy. If we can keep our charting to a very simple view, and we simply identify where the turning points are, where the pivot points are, where we're going to move higher, where we're going to move lower, that's how simple we can keep this trading. We also simplify by not overextending our capital. We started at the beginning of last quarter with a $5,000 risk. We had an $11,000 account balance, but we were willing to only allocate $5,000 of that to risk. We open anywhere from 3 to 4 positions initially with that $5,000 of risk, and we generally have around 3 contracts on each of those positions. That's not overwhelming. It's very manageable. If you have 3 to 4 positions in play, each of them with 3 contracts as you're starting out, and you're limiting your trading to just the simple trading of 3 indexes, NDX, SPX, and RUT, then your $5,000 of risk should be very manageable for you. What we did then is, as we accumulated profits, we grew the amount of capital we were willing to risk. So again, we're only still starting with the $5,000 we were willing to risk initially, and when we made profits, we then increased using those profits to compound. If we had a week where we had a loss, we decreased the amount of risk that we're willing to trade the following week. So we translate everything from our trading account, having taken profits or losses each week, into a spreadsheet. We just keep a very, very simple view of our spreadsheet. I've tracked in the past, historically, very, very complicated methods of keeping track of every single leg of every single position and every single move. And I'm here to tell you, after having done that for years, that keeping it simple is much more enjoyable for your trading. The only thing that matters is the report card at the end of the week. If every week you have a profit, great. If one week you have a loss, that's not a problem as long as you look back and see where that loss fits into your overall profits. All we do at the end of the week is we take a snapshot of what our profit or loss for the week was, and we insert it into our spreadsheet. It helps us then determine what our risk for the following week is, and we continue to compound that risk. Last quarter, which was the first quarter we introduced the Profit Builder program, we earned $6,396 of profits for the quarter. Today, we officially conclude the second quarter of the Profit Builder program, and we have $11,954 of profits in addition to the profits that we accumulated last quarter. So our total accumulated profits to date for the 6 months of the Profit Builder program are $18,351. Now, folks, these profit numbers I'm giving you are net after fees and commissions. We don't play any games here. This is full transparency. These are all net after fees and commissions. We don't track every single trade. We don't track win-loss ratio. Win-loss ratio is a misleading indicator. All we track is whether or not we made money at the end of the week. And we track that profit or loss number after we've factored in all fees and commissions. So we are up in 6 months $18,351 against having only started with risk of $5,000. We consider that to be a pretty outstanding performance. So we took another $1,050 of profits this week. It's been a little more challenging since the August 24th meltdown of the market, but you can see here that we've managed our way through that and we finished the quarter very strong. If our performance that we have established for the prior 6 months, if that run rate continues for the next 6 months, we have the potential of reporting profits of $93,798 for the first year of the Profit Builder program. Those future numbers will continue to change and will be dependent on what each new week number ends up being. If we have strong weekly profits one week, that number, actually that forecast number, may increase. If we have weak performance or we have losing weeks, then that 1 year forecast may decrease. It doesn't really matter to me what it does. We're not just trying to achieve a certain number. What we do is we manage our positions one position at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time. That's all we care about. And at the end of the week, if we put up positive gains, we're excited. At the end of the week, if we had a loss like we did last week, well, we just have to see where that loss fits in to all of our prior accumulated gains. And generally, we're still in very good shape. So that is the update for today. If this is something that interests you, if you would like to learn more about how to get on board with starting with just $5,000 of risk and learning how to make perhaps as much as $18,351 in 6 months, check us out at ommprofitbuilders.com. I'm Mark Dannenberg. I'm the CEO and founder of Options Moneymaker. We have a passion for helping traders learn how to actually make money and filter out all of the nonsense that isn't going to help you make money. Have a great weekend. We're looking forward to starting a new quarter next week on Monday. I will be back next week with an update and review for the first week of the new quarter.